is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. And we are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is to really understand the dark, negative, controlling energy that they have felt when a individual in their life has basically given them a look, given them a vibe, given them attention, and not attention like not attending to, but there is a tension. There's a feeling energetically about them, and they are describing this as a dark, cold energy, something very uncomfortable, something that they really can't name, and they want to go into what is that, and to kind of, to have a discussion on that. So we're going to zoom in and focus in on that and what that uncomfortability really is, and how not to call chicken on it. Chicken meaning to not be afraid, not give in to the dark energy, not have it render you helpless, because that is really an after effect when people come upon these individuals who are malignant, pathological, controlling, and will resort to emotional manipulation, particularly emotional manipulation. So not physical manipulation, emotional manipulation. So emotion, if we're to look at this, emotion is energy in motion. So the heart, the etheric center of the human being, emits an electrical energy, and even more so than the brain itself. And so, you can feel, just like you've seen like waves, if you've ever, been in a hot desert, or you've seen a road, you've seen kind of a ripple or a reflection of light. So it's kind of like there's an energy light that is bouncing off of it. We do have light waves, energetic waves. They're still trying to understand at the quantum level, really the energetic effect that really composes the human being. It's really quite miraculous. We don't even understand. People usually walk around in complete lack of awareness, lack of education about their own selves. So like Plato's selves, like the ancients say, know thyself. It's not just, do I want ice cream or yogurt? It's knowing who you are, what you are. You're not just what they show in the media. You're not just, the label that is put on you at your job. You're more than that. You are, so there's so much to you. So it's really kind of coming into the awareness and the awesomeness of this. And people throw around the word awesome, but we're talking about awesomeness of what you are in, not only as you're made, but as you are in the making, and your ability to create and manifest and bring about in your life. So when we talk about the etheric energy, there's energy, electrical energy, a current that emits from the heart space. So you might say, for example, you might be at a church, or you might see someone who feels very holy. You can feel this peaceful serenity, power, uplifting energy. You might get the goosebumps. You might get excited. You feel this electrical energy coming off this person. Or like a movie star, you're like, oh my God, and then people are screaming out of their mind. There's this energy to them. This has been able to be registered, of course, by scientific instruments. But for example, that's how sharks, great white sharks, know that there's a swimmer, is that they can sense the electrical energy that's coming off of a human being, a human person, from hundreds of yards away. And they mistake that person as a seal. They think it's a seal, and so they try to bite at it. And it's an error of judgment on that shark's mistake. They're not really people eating. They will eat people, but they really do consume seals. So it's the energetic vibration that is coming off of this person, which they have a sonar to. So when we talk about energy coming from the heart space, the heart basically is the center of the emotions. It's, your heart goes out. We'll say that, and we're calling forth, to the feeling center. And then, your body, the body is the subconscious mind. So the body is able to run itself through all the, it's handled by much of the limbic system, the brain stem, which controls breathing, which controls your motor abilities, your sensory abilities, is all, how you feel something in your hand is based on receptors in your brain. So it's all mapped out. And so there's an energy about you. And, some people will say, that was so illuminating. In other words, there's an energy of this person, perhaps things that they've been educated on or worked on, and that you find it illuminating or educating or something that you need, and you feel uplifted. And, there's this feeling of, people say it is a light or etheric energy. It feels very sort of, like it's growing, like it's a positive sort of spread out. It's not a very dense, low vibration. And, so they call that the higher vibration. And so someone who is psychopathic, they're oftentimes going to put, because they don't have this same emotional resonance, they don't have, and I'm sweating here, they don't have that same emotion. They don't have that sort of registering between, the heart and mind. There have been studies that have looked at how they attend to emotionality in words. It's more intellectualized. They don't perceive things in the same way emotionally, whether it be an event or a word or a song. They don't have the feeling of love. In fact, studies have shown that they don't really even experience fear. What they experience is more just like a rage and then like a powerlessness. It's just they have an insatiable need to win and control. And so, each case, each individual is so different. But when the individual kind of drops the mask, they drop the show, they drop the pretension of who they, the inauthenticity, the illusion, the facade, the mask. When the mask drops, and we call it an exposure or a mean, cruel look that you can't really, it chills your soul. A lot of viewers have used this expression. It is chilling. It's a dark energy. So it's to understand, basically, it's like the light don't shine there. The light meaning there's no emotion. It is a cold-blooded, ruthless energy. So it's, as they say, it's an intraspecies predator energy, meaning that these people literally feast on the emotions of others. They feast on taking others down, taking others out, playing games with them, mental games, mental torture. And so this dark energy is attention. It's trying to disturb the good. If they feel like they cannot buddy up with the good, in other words, they can't keep the mask going. They could be someone who is a younger individual who is psychopathic, and they haven't figured it all out yet. In other words, they haven't had the experience of trying to fit in, because the psychopath will adopt the mask in order to fit into the role, so they're undetected. But they'll seep through the systems and then put on the biggest smile, put on the biggest frown. These people are very extremes in their contortion of their bodies. So literally they will manipulate emotionally in this way. So that dark energy that you're feeling, that uncomfortability, is because they're basically just trying to absorb, and there's an energetic push of this dark energy, which is a low vibration, which can be in a variety of settings, but it's literally trying to extinguish your core or your soul energy. So when people say they felt helpless, they've felt like they don't exist, all these, really intense, profound statements, they feel that they've been wiped out. They feel depersonalized. These are big words. These are big feelings. And this shows you the intensity of the negative energy that they're putting out. Negative meaning not supportive, not loving, not in your best interest, not helping you to exist on the happier, higher vibration. So when someone's happy and laughing and they're bouncing around and their body is in alignment, that's a positive state. They're not in the fight or flight. They're, everything is in the flow. So that is their natural state. And then, so the psychopath, if someone wants to emotionally manipulate, they're going to try to get that to stop altogether, because to them, it's how they quote unquote relate. They can't relate to others on the positive. So they can try to dismantle somebody, take someone down at that soul level. So when they talk about how intense it is, that they feel a chill in their soul, is because energetically they're trying to wipe that out. They're trying to, really get you in that quantum energy where you live. And it's not just your heart, but, the energy is all around you. It's not just where you stand. It's, 8 feet extending out. It's, 8 feet extending up. It's 8 feet, extending behind you. That is your energy, and they can pick up on this. So the people, especially who possess an abundance of sentientness or empathy, in other words, people who identify themselves as meaningful, what's meaningful to them, this is very key because they want to wipe out the identity. It's like leaving it's like a computer, and we give analogies here, and just trying to wipe out the entire hard drive and go, here you go, here's your life, here's your computer, and you feel like literally all your operating system has been wiped out. You can't do anything. You feel lost. You feel disoriented. You feel like you can't drive. You can't do the normal things of your routine that you want to do. You don't know how to relate to people. You feel like your values aren't there. Your operating system has been under attack. It's because they're going to try to take down that core identity at the energy level, especially if that is what you hold dear. So they will, it's very, very sadistic, sad. People call it evil, whatever it is. This is what we're describing for you to understand. So if they see that you take meaning of that trait and you hold that as a positive trait of yourself. So you don't think about this on a daily basis. Oh, I like the way that I, make an omelet, or I like the way that I cook, or I like the way that I care about people. We're talking about personality traits about yourself that make you you. I like the fact that I'm intelligent in this area, or that I like the fact that I care about people with regards to this. I'm a caring, loving, carefree person. I'm a free spirit. Some qualities about yourself which are true to you, in which you hold dear as your essence. In other words, you've embraced your inner self. Like, this is me. This is what I like about me, and this is how I live. This is my identity. So it's a big, quote unquote, win to them if they can take you down at that operating system and get you at the traits that you relate to about yourself. That's why it's so dangerous, lethal, not funny, very, very important that you identify this experience in this person and don't think that you're making it up, going crazy. Maybe I've just seen too many bad movies. No, this is a reality. This is a psychopathic energy. And the psychopathic bond or emotional manipulation at the core, when they're trying to dismantle your identity, is really the scariest. And try to make you feel that with which you are not at that core energetic level. So there's an energy that is going to come out, and it has the ability to control what you look at, your focus. It's a very difficult thing to experience, but it's like having a hacker. It's like a soul hacker just come in, all of a sudden get through your weaknesses. That's how a hacker will get into a operating system of somebody's computer or try to take their debit card. They'll look for weaknesses, vulnerabilities in the system. Oh, look, they don't have a firewall here. We can go in here. We can find out, the passwords. We can find out the data. Boom, we're in. And then away they go. They've hacked the system. So these individuals are like the ultimate spiritual hackers. They try to hack out people's identity, which is your etheric energy. Because as you remember, what is his name? Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's done phenomenal work on the role of neuroplasticity and consciousness and, identity and, spontaneous healing, all things of this nature. But as he describes, mood reinforced and repeated over time becomes a temperament. And temperament repeated over time with behaviors becomes your identity. It becomes your I am, who you are. It's not just the brand, it's what makes you you. Literally the very fabric, the tiniest fabric of you, if you could look at it under a microscope and blow it out, in terms of ions, neutrons, protons, it is who you are. It's your energy, who you are. And so to be abused in this way is to reduce and abuse your energy so that your energy is so weak. People say, I felt so helpless. I feel like I can't, do a job. I feel like I have PTSD. It's because at the energetic field, it's been so dismantled. So as a psychopath, for them, they say it's so cruel. It is. It's wrong. It is. People say this should be illegal. It's hard to make this illegal. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? So that's why you have to protect yourself. You have to be like the police, sole police enforcers, and really get this and understand that it's not something, when you feel that you've lost face, you've lost your identity, you've lost who you are. If you have felt this, you are unequivocally in the presence of someone who is psychopathic. I'm just going to make that statement. I'm going to put that out there for you to understand the darkness, of that. You feel the tension. You haven't even done anything wrong, and they want to do away with you because you are like you are like all of a sudden, you're in your own land, and it's like here comes, the predator, the lion, who's just like, nope, this is my territory, even though you've set up a roost, you've set up a nest, this is your home. People have let these people into their homes. They've gotten married to these people. They've had these people as parents, spouses, siblings, and they're like, OMG, what is going on? We take them to a psychologist. They're doing this to animals. They're doing this to us. You've got the mental illness, which is the schizophrenias, and then you've got this, which is, a whole nother situation. It's a whole nother animal. And oftentimes you'll find these people in workplace, families, doctors, lawyers, etc., all over society. And, if you are the target of this, you need to deflect the target, but you need to understand that this is what you're sensing. That energy is there. It is their lack of emotion. So literally, they talk about like black holes in space where it sucks up the light. It's very much something like that. And so it's a power that is kind of, they don't really know that much about it, but it very much feels like that. And so it is to understand that it is because, if you think about the energy, the energy in motion, we're driven by desire. We're driven by our identity that, we're a loving person and that we always see the best in others. So think about some of your core identity and how a psychopath has been able to get into the weaknesses, into the cracks, into the crevices, into the nooks and crannies, to take advantage of that quality that you might hold dear that identifies yourself, that you have repeated over time and that has been trying to take away from you. What makes you you? So, for example, what you mean to yourself. In other words, I'm a loving person. I see the best in others. I'm here for you when you're down. I'm here to lift you up. I'm a supportive person. I can handle that. I will do this for you. The people pleasing identity. So the qualities that you have found within yourself, if you can think of it right now in the privacy of this video, and how that was suctioned on like an octopus, just, and then ripped open. So all of a sudden they're able to open up the floodgates, and then this energy that they have, because if they have a lack of this, if they don't feel love, humanity, empathy, compassion, sentimentality, they don't care for animals, they will do whatever it takes to get the win. They don't have that emotional energy. So if you can imagine, it's almost like an inhuman human. So they don't have that energy about them. Everything that you see is all what they have done to adapt and adjust and make them seem valid as, a doctor, a spouse, a this, a that. And they can switch it on and off like a light. A psychopath will tell you, ha ha ha, I can be this and then I can be this a whole nother moment. I mean, they can literally switch energies. And it's not like, there's stories of, multi-personality disorder. Remember the whole story of Sybil. She had 52 personalities. This is different. This is a different situation. Whether you want to call it an anomaly of nature, it doesn't matter what you call it. It is what it is. And so they're literally able to, turn on and off this energy. So when you feel this tension, don't think that you're going crazy. Identify it for what it is. Be able to just say, okay, that is, and that is inauthentic, and that is inauthentically me. So you need to, find yourself in that tension, and realize, I'm gonna find the authentic me in this tension, because that is inauthentic. The tension, the hatred, the sneers, the trying to cut you off at the kneecaps, the heart caps, whatever it is, they're going to try to attack your identity at the core, the quantum core. So if you've experienced that darkness, it's like, okay, that is inauthentic. I am the authentic me. And then knowing that to be the case, that is all that matters. And you need to not give any attention, especially do not put your body plane, i.e. the front of you, towards this person, towards this negative energy. It is this with the body. You are turning the body away if you have to be in the same area. And then do not be pushed away by the energy, because the energy has a way to change your body. It has there's a telepathic sort of energy about it, where people have stated, all of a sudden I began doing all these different things that I never do. I began smoking, I began this, I began that, and so people have reported, here on the channel, things that they did, like out of character, and, even to the point of, having new appetites, wearing new style of clothing, looking and perceiving reality in a different way, which is divorced from who they are. And they did this, if they were in a love relationship, they did it in the name of love. But if there's some hatred there, if there's some conflict with the psychopath, you don't want to tangle your energy with this. Period. End of story. I don't care if hitherto this, you were nice and now you don't know how to be unnice. You were married, you don't know how to, kind of take back, a new approach, a new perspective to them. Do it, you must. It doesn't matter. The history is the history. You need to literally untangle your energy from this, because it is not positive for you. Let's just keep it simple. And so it is to understand that, you have control of your own operating system, which makes you, your authentic you. And what they are is the inauthentic. It is to say they are the unreal. They don't have a sense of reality in terms of connecting to that which is safe, good, loving, trustworthy. If you don't have these things, you don't have anything. So if you don't have trust, knowing what they have said, what they've done, how they've talked to you, how they've treated you, how they've, stabbed you behind your back, said these things, treated you, the energy that you have felt, knowing this to be the case, you unequivocally need to have nothing to do with them. And so it is just to say, and as the identity, you have to realize that there's the guilt, but, I love all people, God loves all people. You could have these running in your operating system, which says, well, maybe I should still keep a relationship, honor thy mother, honor thy father, love this, love your neighbor, all these different, tenets that you've heard. It does not apply here. You have an exception, okay? You have an out clause, okay? If someone is parasitic and taking away your identity, they've maybe done things to you financially, this does not apply here, okay? You need to kind of get those out of your operating system that have given you sort of either the depression of having lost it, the guilt from saying no. It is to identify what this now means to you, and why, you have then come across it, and how important it is for you to get away and be very, very strong. So if part of the sadness, the depression, the feeling weak or meek is because of the meaning that you're either saying what it is to make a clean cut, the meaning that you're assigning to yourself or what life has given you, take a look at that, because you need to cognitively reframe it now. and and say it doesn't make me a bad person for protecting myself. It doesn't make me an unloving person to say no. It doesn't make me, it doesn't say I will never have a future. It doesn't mean I'll never love again just because this has happened. So you need to kind of unravel those meanings that you have then stamped on yourself, which could, be keeping you in that stuck state. So it's to kind of unpack that, if you will. And it is to understand that, okay, this has happened. I am authentic to me and I deserve the good life. This does not discount me from life. I still have everything left ahead of me, and I'm wiser, better, and I'm, alchemizing this. In other words, I'm transforming this to the positive. It's to transform like the great alchemist, the inept materials into the gold. It's to transform this to know what the good is, and then really draw that energy, that good energy into you, and to not give attention, energy, any etheric energy to that. Is to let it go. It'll find another target and power source. But if you find yourself targeted, do what you need to do to protect yourself. Complete no contact, no eye contact, no ear contact, etc. It is that serious, and you don't need to feel bad. You don't need to feel guilty, depressed, anxious. I can't do this. I can't handle it. You can do this. You can handle this. This is what you are being called forth to do. And it is, consider this your higher calling. This is important. This is a priority, and you are in the right place by making this determination and this declaration. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Love you. Thank you so much for your questions.